being witnessed is, when it's kind of like a torture in a way, a little bit of not a torture, but a hermetic ladder. And your witness is your medicine,
I mean, it's kind of getting comfortable witnessing yourself, right? Because that's going back to, like, say, social media and all this sort of things. You go back, 100 years. What opportunity did you have to even go back and see something you said or watch something you did, before cameras and things like this? You pretty much lived in the moment, and most of it was gone, and there wasn't as many opportunities to even reflect on, like, oh, what did I just say? What did I just do? And that's
Yeah.
just all part of getting to know yourself.
And how about when it was like just cameras and you had film, and then you had to go out with your little Instagram camera and get the film done, and then you go back to that witness, and then before you had that kind of witness, you had to mail it out for 2 weeks, and then it came back, and then you had a whole black thing of negatives because you had the lens cap on or something.
And see, isn't that great? Because now we can take all the pictures we want. So now people take 1,000 pictures of one thing they'll never look at. But then, hey, we're taking a picture, guys. Get ready. Definitely changed the dynamic.
It used to steal souls. Wait a minute.
Hey, James,
it used to steal souls, right? The photograph used to steal souls, or that's what we used to say. And now it's more like we save souls by capturing them in a picture. Just the mentality of that has changed a lot. And in a way, it's making us sort of learn to associate into digitization. We're learning to pour ourselves into silicone. We're learning to equate ourselves into soil, really. It's just we don't look at it like soil is all. But ultimately, that's really what we're doing. If you were looking at Earth from a macro cosmic worm just minding your own business, you go, oh, look at them. They're associating into dirt. I do that. Look at them go. And that's we're wearing petroleum. Even our diets where you were like, we're eating more plastic. It's like, yeah, I think we're eating more plastic because it's helping us get where we need to go, which is weird, right? But
I just put soil and soul down, and if it's a you and I, and soil is the I and the soul is the unity,
Holy
so
fuck, Lori.
That's kind of interesting with those letters.
That's
and
fucking
the S,
fantastic. Oh my God.
Being that snake. O is wholeness,
Mm-hmm. Man, soul
L is like
soul. That blows me
angels.
away because the soul looks at you through I, and the you looks at the world through you. So, oh, that's beautiful. I love this. Yeah. Well, it's kind of a.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, hi everybody. It's kind of a like I said, I meant to. I've been lost on this movie. I'm at like 6 minutes and 53 seconds, and it's just been a lot of just 3D work, just learning how to tell a story. I feel like I failed because there's no way I could spend this much time creating a video. It's a 15-minute video, and it's taking entirely too long, but I just keep making progress, and I just keep learning skills that make it better, and I'm slowly defining a style that allows me to very quickly set up a story and tell something. I just don't have that right now, so it's been a lot of I spent all weekend trying to cloth simulate a tarp falling on top of a giant statue, and then having people wrap it with ropes, and then dragging that statue by horse through 1790s Mexico. And I don't want to spend any money on any 3D models. So it's like, how do you do all that stuff? And it's just been eating literally all of my life. And I don't want this to be something that I do. It's not sustainable this way, but I do have this sort of hope that I'm just learning how to create super fast, and that I'll be able to just be more succinct in some of my offerings, which not to bore you guys, but I just feel like I just don't see any growth. And if I don't see growth, I'm just relying on fewer people, patrons, to support what I do, and that doesn't make me comfortable. So I've been a lot of focus on TikTok. I joined TikTok. I've been producing a lot of shorts. You've seen all the shorts. It's not that there's anything on there, but it's just I've been working a lot on how do I create more content? How do I do shorts? You've seen a lot of comics, comedy stuff, the music stuff. None of it is like hit and been like, oh, this is, it totally worked. Which has honestly been kind of disheartening. And I really haven't felt like I could handle the witness for the last 2 weeks in that way. I felt more okay like on the Airship with you guys or in Dojo than I do, just out there on James True Live. I also not really proud of me feeling that way. I think I have pretty epic support, and it's weird that I find myself feeling this way, but this is why this is why I talk about witness today, right? Like, it's exactly why, because I'm just telling you these are the things that I've gone through, which is that I want to be witnessed enough to where I don't have to be witnessed. like that'd be cool as fuck if I could just find that happy medium. So I'm feeling blessed where things are, but also a little bit. I've just been pouring a lot of calories into every other technique I can think of, and honestly, I've been missing what I love to do is prepping a live stream and delivering a live stream. But that takes everything. That takes all of my time. I love giving that, but I cannot find growth in that method. I cannot just stay there and do that. I have to produce shorts or produce video, or I have to do something else. I just have to. And it's bothering me. I'm not trying to make it bother you guys. This is part of why I thought if I shot this video, I think it's making me go, the video has to be the greatest video that's ever been made. And so it's causing me to take 2 weeks, and I'm 6 minutes in. But also, it's like 6 minutes of footage no one's ever seen. So it's I'm torn. I've told you guys this before, but one of the things that I like about art, in the sense of me wanting it to help me produce more art, is that it's a natural limiter that otherwise my autistic self would say, no, I'm going to spend the rest of my life just on this one project. When I have to make it produce itself, it forces me to squeeze it out. And I'll just go ahead and say, I've definitely failed on this video. It is just taking way too long. I do know that how many hits it'll probably get. And it'll probably feel like I felt with Cuomo 19, a video which is just very special to my heart. I spent 10 days on that thing. As soon as I released it, YouTube said, we're not even going to put it on the platform. And just watching all that work, it's taught me about witness, because ultimately I need to enjoy the process of making that video as much as possible, because that could be the only thing that I have. And I think this is a big lesson for all of us when we make art, whether it's writing a column or creating a book or whatever. If you put it out there and just no one talks about it, really all you have is your flow state when you were making it. This is really the only payment that you have. And I think if you make sure that payment is good, like, make sure that payment is legit, make sure that you value that the most, I think you'll be okay as an artist. Like, it won't really matter. Because just as I was talking about today in the stream about Lucifer's making you grow that seed in your hand while everyone says it shouldn't be there, so too would be if you're making macaroni pictures in a world that tells you they hate your fucking macaroni, and you're still making macaroni pictures. I want to know you, like that's some powerful stuff. And we never really get to see those people, In fact, I think I'm surrounded by people that quite frankly do not get as much witness as I am. And I feel very selfish because sometimes I'm like, I don't get enough witness. It's a very deeply reflective place to be. It's an endless fountain of always making me reflect on that stuff and on witness itself. And that's what caused this Evil Eye show to come up today, You're looking at a real psychic energy, a tangible currency that our forefathers could not touch, and we can now. That's really what's happening. It's a different place, you know.
I think
Well,
the
I really,
appetite's changing too.
yeah, I really like
I was just gonna say,
the live because it tied in two dojos and the continuity of this witnessing. It's like, are you really, can you just be a hermetic witness of self?
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead, Brad. And then Yesenia.
oh, sorry, I was just saying that, saying I'm thinking the appetite as far as like art, the appetite for art may be changing, just like with culture, with everything else. Which is why I do think the more we tune into our flow state just for that, just for the very sake of that, then in other words, I don't think I would bet it might surprise you what actually hits at some point. You know what I mean? It might not be the thing you think, but
Yeah.
you know, you just keep putting it out there and putting out what you're feeling at the moment and let it be there. And I'll also say, I think that going through that process, when I first got my first real 8-track recorder, so really to actually produce good music, right? Like equipment that was able to produce studio quality sound. It took me 6 months to even learn how to use it. And it was frustrating. It was slow. And yeah, it was one of those things I started to debate, should I have even got this thing? But then once I learned how to use it, it became quicker and quicker, easier and easier. And it also, I learned my rhythms. When you talk about writing a story, right? For me, writing a song, you start to see your template. You know what I'm saying? You know your voice. You know what I'm saying? You just and
Yeah.
So that's where I'm.
That's how I feel about my live streams. Like I feel like I know my voice. I feel like I know how to do that. And,
oh yeah.
And I really get off on the research. I just really get off on that, and the enthusiasm shows. I don't have to bring that. It just comes naturally because I can do that. You know, ultimately, it'd just be cool as fuck if I could just do nothing but live stream. Like that'd be cool as fuck. and that's the thing that I'm suffering. You know, if I'm suffering from anything, it's just that. It's like I have my full joy flow state right here, but the growth is just. And maybe I need to recheck that. You know.
Yeah.
That, but it is tricky because I see a lot of financial things that I'm not able to do. And I just, as time goes on, that's longer that those aren't being taken care of, you know, and you just track the math. So it's you get it.
So,
well, you well know me. I'm coming. I was going to say, you know, my mentality, I'm coming from an aspect of that lack myself.
Yeah.
So a lot of it, in terms of considerations for things like that. And personally right now, I'm just trying to kind of, not wallow like in the current situation or lack anything in the current situation, but instead, because for example, like my trust in certain things in life has obviously been there, but I don't trust not to have this financial lack, right? Which is why I've kind of embodied that, which I think was part of my hermetic journey. But at the same time, I think I have to start trusting and believing that abundance is there as well. I just have to, and I kind of think that's, you know, for all of us, you know what I'm saying, in that way. So that's why I just kind of try and work on myself in that flow state and like I say, not focus on what I'm lacking.
Yeah, me too.
James, when you shared about being before your time, I think a lot of us can relate to when you, like if I do something, usually I'm like 5 years ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
So when I made my first van, there was nobody was living in vans, and I was living and went out on adventures living in a van, right? So if my art is the same as me, then I would have to wait 5 years for whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm only curious about what I haven't done before, and I won't really be witnessed for it because I call that a beyonder. I know that, you know, maybe the vocabulary of being a beyonder would be somebody that has exited and doesn't have a birth certificate or is, you know, not on the radar. But I think there's another form of a beyonder. So I'm thinking that the creativity of what you're doing, it's like you're before it. So you're trying to do something that's before even the AI is ready for what you have to do. But
We're
that's where
outsider artists, so we're supposed to be somewhat eccentric and ahead of our time, I think. And I mean, I love the work you do. That's
Well, I mean, that's the thing. We as an audience
all of
love
you, actually.
right?
Yeah, and I love the passion too. And you know, when I picture, like, when you look at what really does well, it is funny to me. It is really funny how when I look at what does well versus what I do. I mean, it's very back-asswards what I'm bringing out for breakfast and everyone else, you know, has there. It's really funny. It is funny because it doesn't take much. And I'm so far away from that. And all I do is just obsess over what I am going to do. I mean, in a good way, just because, again, it's interest. My passion is just endless when it comes to stuff like this, topics like this. Like it's just, and I always have that sense of, it's part of actually why I needed to go at 11. I can't handle the waiting. I have to explode and I have to pour it out. And so I can't hang out until 5 at night and then do it. I'm just spent by then, you know. It's time to go. It's time to go. And so, yeah, it's perfect. It really is perfect. I think that the book, writing the book was really physically hard. I wish I could say that it wasn't, but it just, shit like that is hard. It's just hard. It's calorically difficult to make all 30,000 words as enthusiastic as you can. It's just fucking hard. And halfway through, you're like, I really want to talk about penguins. And it's just like, dude, there's not enough penguins in Africa. It's going to be hard. And you know, you forcing yourself to go back. That's what I'm suffering through. I'm not actually suffering through this movie I'm working on. It's grueling, but I've learned the lesson from the book of, look, James, I'm just going to tell myself this. And by the way, I don't like people that scold me for just predicting the future. People are like, you shouldn't think that way. And it's like, dude, if this is what happens, I'm allowed to fucking think this way, okay? But anyway, what I've told myself is that, James, you're on day 10. You're probably going to get like 1,400 people see this video. That's probably it. Are you having fun? Because this is the peak, James. You think that the peak is I'm going to hit publish and that's going to be the peak? And James, that has never been the peak. Not once has that ever been the peak. That's always been the big fucking letdown. And please forgive me, guys. You guys are very supportive of my work. I'm just telling you as an artist, it's just the moment I publish, that is always the biggest letdown. It's always a colossal letdown because I really am expecting the butt crack of the earth to open and some sort of demigod to rise up and go, you fucking saw me, dude. High five. Okay, I'm out of here. And you know, it's like, I keep waiting for that to happen. And so my it's high. And I really just want to enjoy the flow state. And I got to tell you, writing it's not an enjoyable, like I love writing, but like when I know, fuck, here we go. Like I know what is about to happen to me. I know how much this is going to hurt. And maybe I'd be a better writer if I didn't feel that way. Or maybe it actually is the only thing that is making my writing good. Is because I'm willing to suffer so much to pour that out on the plate. You see what I mean? So it's like art isn't always necessarily about passion for me. It's also about sacrifice too. But it's such a fine line. I know you guys get this, right? But it's such a fine line. And where I'm at now is that if I shouldn't be doing this if I'm not enjoying it. I shouldn't. And I don't enjoy
it's the journey, not the destination, right?
Yeah, there you go, Deb. And because that's where you want it. That's where you always are. You don't have a choice. You're going to have to be there anyway. That's really where all creatrix would have to come from. So why front? Why front and say, I'm going to pretend to enjoy being creative after enough people see this and tell me how amazing it is? that point will never happen. It'll never ever come.
What part of the brain do you think is like, where are you, like, is that future oriented, that you want that accolade or something, but it really would never be there? It would always be in the moment.
Yeah, most of your frontal lobe.
Happened.
Yeah, because your frontal. But keep in mind, your frontal lobe is just pulling from your hindbrain about, well, what happened to me last time, right? So it is the frontal lobe, but keep in mind, all it's doing is just pulling from your past and going, hey, well, what happened last time you wrote a book? What happened? You know, and I can't say that all. Honestly, the first time I wrote a book, I was amazed because one person was like, "What the fuck? Somebody bought my book? What? All right, who the fuck was it? You know?" And then you're just like that's really turned me into, this is possible. See, I had to write the book because I was tired of calling myself a coward. That's the only reason why I published Six Track. That was it. It was like, fuck the world. I'm just tired of shitting on myself in the mirror because I won't do this, you know? And it's what a weird way to give birth to something. Like, that's a weird way to start writing. It's not unheard of, you know? Isn't
all creativity like sometimes formed from that? Like, people go into fields so that they can have this
witness creativity,
you know,
right? Yeah. It's almost like witness creativity is that way. It's different versus like personal creativity. I can piddle all day long. Like creatively piddle all day long. Zero judgment. Nothing's due. Nothing's required. Nothing has to be finished. I can stop whenever I want. And I can learn. I can do stuff, but I'm not being challenged. I'm not being squeezed, and I'm not hurting. And I don't know if it's art then. It actually could be. Because like I said, guys, I think I'm a tight-wound guy that I don't have the formula for life. You know, I'm just telling you this is what happens with me. And I tend to just try and, well, fuck, if this is going to be this feeling, why don't we just point it in the right way? And then we can, you know, squeeze something out and make sausage out of these feelings.
Can I ask real quick though, just in terms of like when you talk about the accolades, what you all think about the fact in your personal experiences, any accolades you do get, do you think that sustains for a long time? Or for me personally, like when I create something that I'm proud of or whatever like that, even the like my own accolade, like my value of what I've just done, like that fades pretty quickly. Like it's like now it's my energy to get that level again has got to be into something new because I've done that now. It's been made. You know what I'm saying? And when you talk about people who, let's say, who get the accolades, right? Like musicians who have a hit song and they go, you know, tour and tour and tour, and then by the end of it, they hate the freaking song. And you hear this all the time. They can't stand it. They don't want to play it. These kind of things, you know? So that aspect in terms of the accolade seems like that grail that if you get that, I've made it. But anyone who's gotten that will kind of reflect back and tell you, I've heard a comedian talking about it. He said, you guys are still, y'all are great because y'all still think if you get it, you know, you'll achieve it. He said, I'm screwed because I've gotten it and I'm realized it ain't shit. It's just an interesting, again, psychological phenomenon. It's almost like what the greatest high is just in the moment. As many times as we can stay plugged into the moment, that's where we get our most juice, I think. But that's
cool.
That's it.
We have like several hands up, and I know they're not jumping in, but are we finna kind of let somebody else move on to something they need? Is that good? Good. Yesenia, go ahead.
I was gonna continue speaking about what y'all were talking about, because speaking of continuity, I posted on my story, for those of you that have me on social media, the smear campaign story, and I haven't listened to the Saturday Night Dojo radio until yesterday on my road trip over here to Steamboat Springs. And I was like, wow, it's just crazy how, you know, in this group, there is some sort of synchronicity going on. And, you know, then I also released my Fraud Formers column on Substack, and it didn't get as much views. And I put my face, and I felt that like resistance, like, hey, I put my face on a camera and I presented it. Like, so why am I getting less views than when I just post it myself? So it's just like, I'm kind of just, I've been playing like ping pong with myself for the last 24 hours. Like, why? And what do I have to do? Also, ChatGPT doesn't let me generate photos for another month now. So there's also like a limit when you pay. And I feel like that's also another synchronicity to just push me to work on my book, because I sometimes put my book on hold to just, create some sort of social media witness gain with these columns. And that's been another question, like, hey, am I really doing these columns to like monetize myself or to just have fun? Because at first it was a fun idea and I was at much more of a flow state, and I felt way less pressure having to, be consistent with my drops. So it's just it's been very interesting, and that last dojo really resonated with me, and I thank y'all for sharing, because it really planted a lot of seeds in terms of why do I care that there's that there is a smear campaign, or that I am being rejected, and maybe me caring is also part of that hermeticism. But thank you for letting me share.
Thanks, Yesenia. I really relate to the, I don't know, that witness, like you want witness, and then when you don't get the witness, and are you doing it for the witness, or is it really what you're, what the joy is in creating? And I think that, terrified to put like a video of yourself up, and then you're thinking, well, I should get more witness. But then when you get less witness, it kind of like a pit in the stomach, kind of like, no one likes me. And I'm like, when James put that whole social media with that little meme, I was like, I think it is that, that level of, does anybody really want to be a social influencer, or what are they called? Like that, those people seem to be getting a lot of whatever that is. But the people that are super out of the box thinkers, or I think beyonders, are getting less witness for being in there. So it's like that. That's an interesting one.
And
Hey,
another thing before
yeah.
you move on, if I may, I'm so sorry for
Yeah.
holding up.
No, don't be sorry.
I just forgot. I don't mean to like smooch James's butt on camera, but you are one of my main like inspirations. Like I wouldn't be able to have the courage to put out what I did without watching you. So that's really big for me, at least. Like that you create this sort of line of inspiration, and it's also friendship. So it's not like I'm looking up, I'm just looking like around, and it's a part of my experience, and it's being immersed. Like it's kind of like interwoven because of how connected we truly are.
Yeah.
So thank you. Sorry.
I feel that too. I just want to say I say this all the time in private to other people, but I'm just so proud of just seeing all the people that you guys as individuals. It just seriously, it moves me more than anything else. I'm just like, look at these people. Why are you not going to do a show today? It's like that kind of stuff. It's just like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And I get checked out a lot. I get missed, and it makes me selfish. This is why I talk about selfishness all the time, because ultimately your pain is making you selfish. Ultimately, that's it. Ultimately, the thing that made me stop feeling pain more than anything else, this might sound fucked up, but fuck, if it works, it works, is that it was making me selfish. And I don't want to be selfish. So every time I find myself in pain, I'm reminding myself that I'm probably being selfish and I don't even know it. I literally say that to myself because I just catch myself. Hey, you're pretty depressed. You're probably being selfish as fuck right now. And then I just notice the people in my life and I start to wonder, holy shit, I'm not paying attention at all. I'm not doing this. I'm not. And it opens me up. Again, there's shame I'm using it to push me back into the light. You see what I mean? It's good.
That is good. Thank you, James. Hey, Renee, your hand's up. Go ahead.
Oh gosh. Well, I was thinking about when we were talking about social media, and I started making videos in February 2020, just kind of out of the, I have something to say and here's a format. It seems pretty simple and I'll post it. And, that got to be a pretty daily practice. So I did a lot of videos and never edited them. Just went, and if I liked it, I posted it. I never got much response, but I saw myself as more of an irritant to most. But even though I still had something to say, and just going there, I never really thought I'd like, well, Renee, you're going to have a little show and you're just going to go speak your mind. But the fact that was an opportunity was such linked to my Mercury and Aquarius, that just is like, oh yeah, let's get on this board. You have a format, whether people know you or not, it doesn't really matter. And to see how it's rolled out to meeting all of you guys and being here, having that kind of practice that I did, quite frankly, just for my own, just to test myself and just to really have fun, because I always thought I had something to share and something interesting to say. But a lot of that comes from going outside and being more, you see my throat's kind of tight. It's really interesting. Going outside and just being expressive in a public park. And I know, like, I would climb a play structure as an adult by myself. And I know people saw me, but I didn't really care. So to go a bit back into that childhood of playing at the park is such a easy window to open up to your own expression of witness, because you're expressing for the sky and the earth around you, but you also could be seen by someone else who may or may not know you. And when you get to a point where you're just so comfortable with that, then you're at another level. It's you've almost incited yourself. You know, the beyonding is going the other direction. So that range, I think, develops the boundaries that you expand out to. So that inside work is super important, especially for the Kundalini energy, which is how I started this whole journey. I didn't know what was going on with me, but something was definitely happening to me. And when I heard that it was something called the Kundalini energy, and I'm like, what? You know, so to be taking those steps to express myself, to be bigger than I felt I was initially, you know, to then have the whole world be able to see me on a screen, which was like, what? This is so like 70s kids cartoon, like this could never happen. But it's just such a beautiful, for me, the formula that Gaia has worked with me and God has just been incredible, you know, is to bring me and connect me with my inner calling, really. And I think, James, when you were talking about those things that we just have to do, even though we don't get the witness, I think that's a core part of you. That's part of your bridge to your spirit, which my maiden name is Core Bridge, which is pretty damn cool. But, you know, so that's a journey you take. And often, you know, you fall off and hopefully you have a rope and you can throw it over and climb back up. Yeah. But it's all about that crazy ride. We're just on the end of that, just swinging around. So yeah, interesting times. We've got a lot of energy cosmically going on with a lot of Mars energy. So, and Mars in Scorpio. So yeah, check out all that stuff. It's really pertinent to what's going on. So that's what I got. And actually I have to bounce out and drive someone somewhere pretty soon. So I might be on my phone.
Okay. Hey, Renee, that I really related. And I love your witness for witnessing yourself in the park. So I kind of like got this level when I also started a YouTube channel, and I started like doing all these videos, and I do not consent and all these, I didn't edit one thing. I was like, you know, doing water ceremonies. I was like, but then when I started observing myself, I kind of had to like, I wasn't ready for that level of my psychosis of watching myself watch myself and never feeling like good enough with it. So it's like staying in that video play state and then not caring if you get the witness is truly like staying in a flow state. But then it's like, so James, you too, like I'm on Yesenia's team. I'm like watching you do all of that, get angry at people, like rant. And it was just like whatever that was so freeing to me, like losing people, gaining people. It was just, you know, I don't really think that as an artist that we can go out there and like curate it to get it like right. Yeah. So to be in the, like what, you know, watching Renee's like thing and she's just doing her thing. It's not she's trying to do her thing to get a monetary toward it. It was more because she was in this playlate state. So that both of y'all have influenced me, and I think I'm going to start a little bit more doing it. And being on this dojo has been a good practice to me, not looking at the camera, actually going back. I think it's really a good practice to go back and re-listen, rewatch yourself, and not be super critical of yourself when you're watching yourself on camera. So
watching yourself watch yourself is the first step in a mystic's opening.
That's right, Deb. Yeah, good point. Yep. And we have the technology now that's making us do that, when before you had to conceptually, hypothetically try and find a way to do that in your head.
Right. And then like, you know, braving, watching yourself watch yourself and try to stay in a, you know, whatever the fieldings are, field them. you know, because it's not going to be neutral.
Yeah.
You're always going to think that, oh, I was looking at myself. I mess with my hair a lot, but I mess with my hair a lot anyway. It doesn't matter if I'm on camera. But then I notice, oh, you're messing with your hair. And it's like a crazy kind of little quirky things that you kind of watch while you broadcast your channel. You know, you're channeling your channel. So
well, the benefit of
And then
that is
after
you
you
don't
watch
even know what
yourself,
you're going to say. You don't even know what you're going to say half the time. So you surprise yourself with what you say. So that's part of
That's
the
why
reveal.
I love live
So
streaming. Yeah,
you're
that's
stone
why.
cold. It's great.
Yeah.
I usually have some kind of inspiration. I usually have like an idea. I'm like, let's go, and I'll just hit record. I haven't done it for a while. It's been about a month, but it's a real magical place to be when you're just in that right alignment. You're like, go. And you know, if you haven't done it, try it. My gosh, you know, you don't even have to show it to anybody, but it's just such fun practice to see yourself just kind of go for it. That's it.
Hey, thanks, Renee. I'm so good to have you back. I really missed you a lot, a really lot. I just wanted to let you know a lot.
I'm glad to be back. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Good. Okay, Trevor, you're up. You're not unmuted yet, Trevor.
Right. Yep.
All right.
Yeah, sorry. I should be a little more tech savvy for my age, but hey, yeah, just can you hear me good, or is there a lot of wind?
No, we hear you good.
All right, cool. No, I mean, I think you're all doing pretty good. I mean, if you think about it, 1,400 views. What's that? Like a small stadium? People. I mean, I don't know. I was gonna come on with like a hoorah, cheer James up speech, but I don't even know if that's. I mean, I think I speak for all of us. I enjoy watching all the YouTube and all the stuff he puts out. I mean, I started a YouTube channel pretty recently too, but I read like a book on YouTube channel creation first, and like there's some stuff that'll like kill your channel. I don't know if like that's worth looking into, but like stuff that's like counterintuitive, like sharing it on your Facebook. Like if people that aren't interested, like your family and friends aren't interested in the theme you put out, there's a good chance they'll just click on it and watch like 2 minutes. So I guess then YouTube grabs it and thinks, oh, people found this content, but they didn't like it. And then I guess it's even worse if you like advertise, which there's a lot of gurus that say, oh, run ads and stuff. But like, I don't know. I would just say, I'm not even saying that's that. And then I guess I had a question too. You guys think they're still doing like 2006, 2007 level like YouTube scrubs where they scrub people like if your content isn't like mainstream? Is that what you're thinking's going on, or that's all I got?
Well, it's good to hear from you, Trevor. Thanks for coming back. I'll just address this really quick because the algorithm is interesting. It's the egregore, isn't it? The algorithm is the egregore. It's the psychic conglomerated energy of the group. It's fascinating when you really stare right at it. And the algorithm is going to have certain characteristics because all of us are trying to see it from a singular personality, from a singular appetite or perspective. And I do agree with what you're saying, Trevor. There's definitely ways to kill your channel that are very counterintuitive. My best guess is that the worst thing I can do is put a link before somebody who's already seen or already knows that's there. That is the worst thing that could happen, because their ability to engage with the link is literally the only thing that matters now. It's the only factor that seems to be, what is the percentage of people that clicked on this when they saw it? That seems to be the only thing now that really does run a good algorithm now. Which means you're looking at. So
it's just all click through right now. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
so like click through is the biggest thing.
Yeah, because it's showing you virality. Likes are meaningless. Comments mean nothing at all. It's about, if I show you this thumbnail, do you click? The next thing, which is totally separate, has nothing to do with this. A whole other separate algorithm goes, how long did you stay on this content percentage-wise? What's the length of it versus how long did you stay? These are two different appetites. One is, will the fish bite? The other is, how long can you keep the fish on the line for? These are two totally different appetites. And tracking between the two, you're looking at a culture that most people are on the phone. If I put up a video that's a short, it'll get maybe 3,000 hits. And if I put out the same video as a regular video, it'll get 300. It's literally 10 times more are on a mobile device. So the traffic hits are going to come through that method. But then my content is long form content. I don't have short form content. I could make short form content. Fork in the eye is short form content. Pennies from Heaven is short form. I'm trying to make short form content, but ultimately it's not what I want to do. Ultimately, I just want to do what I do, which is live stream. So I think the algorithm is never going to be serving people who are not at that very first crux of the Siegel hot dog thing. So all of us have our place. It's not that the algorithm doesn't want my content. It's just that why would it put that out on the automat? Why would it bother to put that out? You know what I mean?
I know this is random too, but I don't know if you've noticed or what you watch, but like for me, like YouTube lives are whack, man. Like I'll watch yours and I like watching them, but like to find new stuff, most of them are just like nothing I'm interested in. Is like what'll pop up, and it's just like low quality audio. And that's not yours. I'm saying that's definitely not yours, but
it's
I don't know
another.
I don't get a lot in my feed because I almost never click on them.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's just like a ton of people like the YouTube lives are dead, and maybe like get 50 friends on TikTok and try that. But I don't know if you want to even try that. You know what I mean? Be like,
and I don't
liver, and then
well, and I don't even want to like, I don't want to
to
make this Airship about that because it is such a specific like me issue. Although I'm more than welcome to talk about it to people, but yeah, I do think that I have a niche that makes it awkward. I put out a higher quality live stream. I'm just saying than what average is put out as a live stream. That's all. And I deliver it more like a lecture. YouTube's not really set up like that. My live streams have longevity. Literally, a live stream is not meant to do that. It's supposed to expire right away. So all those things hurt. That's why sometimes you'll see me take a live stream and then create a video out of it. But I think that hurts me too. Because then people who've already seen my live stream, they see a video, then they start watching and they're like, wait, I already watched this live stream. Then they stop. So I think that hurts me also. So it's just a weird situation to be in. And ultimately, I think what's hurting me is trying to appeal to it. I think what I need to do, this is what I told Renee the other day, is like, look, I just want to get back on the cross. If my career is meant to die as a live streamer, I just want to die live streaming. I don't want to die like trying to fix it. I just let it kill me. Like, let's do it really well and just let it kill me. Let's see how long we last. And that's what I did today, is starting that process. Why? Because I thought 3 weeks ago, if I write a script for this statue, this Mesoamerican statue, and I create a video, that video will lead to a lot of people watching me. And 3 weeks later, I'm still working on the video, and I'm like, this isn't even what I want to do. So it's like backwards. It's not helping me. I'm putting 90% of my effort into a promotion instead of the actual product itself. Meanwhile, the people that are actually paying me are probably paying me to do a live stream, and I'm not even delivering that. What the fuck is wrong with you, James? And that's my life. Welcome to my life. That's what it's been like. So that's all I got on this.
You got appealing to two audiences. Just going to say, I think you're working with two audiences there, because I think everyone here, you're absolutely right. We like long form content. That's where we connected and all this kind of way. And yeah, the short form content is for like I said, just a totally different mental space. And I don't know the balancing act, but I would definitely agree with your take that as far as me, that's like, I like the short, now the original things you did, the songs, those are great in and of themselves. But like you said, when you're cutting up your old live streams, it's like I can watch them, but of course I prefer to take the time, savor the whole thing. You know, that's.
And I hate listening to comments on those when people are like, hey, you didn't explain this. And I'm like, dude, you gave me 45 seconds. How am I supposed to explain that? Like, why are you complaining that my short video that's less than 50 seconds didn't cover the deeper underlying meaning of the Assyrian symbolism of, and it's like, you fucktard. I just did a live stream on it 2 years ago, you know, and it's like, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's funny. I don't even like making shorts. I mean, I love creating, I love doing the little skits and stuff, but only if it was working, only if that was really helping me, you know? So, but we'll see.
Remember,
So
the old definition of patron is that we want to support what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I would take it that way. Instead of we're paying you to do something, we're supporting what you do because it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
and
you.
I really want to say that my joy is consciousness. And I found you because you dilated my path. That's a hermetic ladder thing. And I don't really enjoy short format at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a friend, like, we were having this conversation, an artist friend, and he's really been into the TikTok. And the way that a TikTok video works, and it's like probably a medium format. And you take like these esoteric things and that's what he listens to. And like his consciousness is really awakening through TikTok. And then it has this like medium format. And then, you know, it's got like a certain amount of thing, but he said what he likes about it is it plays over because he's doing art when it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes like he has to listen to it 4 times.
Yep.
And it goes back and it goes back. And it's like not the short, but it's medium.
Mm-hmm.
Gives that chunk enough of the chunk for beginning, middle, and end. And I don't really know if I like that format. I really like the deep dives that you do in the live because all of a sudden something tickles in me and I'm like, oh, where's he going to go next with that?
Mm-hmm.
So don't you think that, you know, it's like reading novels. People stopped reading. And so now we're getting into like this place where people are like only at like 90 seconds
mm-hmm.
of attention.
Yeah.
I mean, those aren't my people. I'm like, consciousness is and awakening consciousness and dilating is my people.
Mm.
So I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it. Mary Jo, you're next up.
Hello. I agree that it's like supporting the awesome live content. But what I was gonna say was there's like I can watch any video, I can watch any live stream. Like I can go back and watch them from months ago or a couple years ago, and it will be totally in sync with what I'm doing right there, you know? And that's amazing. And that's one way to know that you're aligned
Mm-hmm.
with something, you know, like it's like taking it to a next level when you can have I would say that word support is a lot better than like the whole Patreon concept. I like to think of it as supporting because there's so many strong, awesome people here, you know. I like that, Kermit, Lori. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
No, keep talking. I like what you have to say, Mary Jo.
Well, I thought I was going to say this too. I'm super excited about Saturday, and I just saw that it's going to be a full moon in Aquarius, which is going to be really auspicious.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to that too. Yeah, Mary Jo's bringing a topic on Saturday, and since we have this floor, Lauren, I think it'd be great if you would come next time if you're up for that. I don't want to pressure you right now, but man, especially with the Freemason stuff
Saturday,
we were talking about. Yeah,
sure.
That'd be great.
I don't mind.
All right, great. So anyway, and that goes to all of you. However, the Freemasonry topic, I was like, man, I bet Lauren would be like saying some stuff right now, which would be cool too. So yeah, looking forward to Saturday.
I really wanted to make it this Saturday, but I was out in the sun all day. And I thought, I was like, I'll be able to make it. And said I went right to sleep. So that was one that I really would have liked to be a part of. But
well, we should do it again because we didn't even really dive into that. And I think it would be a great thing. The Rosicrucians, the Freemasons, even a look at ritual itself, I think would be a fascinating show. But anyway, Mary Jo, we are discussing, what are we discussing Saturday? I'm sorry, I'm inserting a commercial right now.
Chiasm
That's
in
right.
just chiasm, and I was gonna talk about the different angles or angels and what it has been and what it could be and how it's relevant right now.
Fantastic. I can't wait. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
One thing I would comment production wise was on last night's or Saturday's ride, I wasn't really expecting that many people, and I noticed that a lot of the what's said gets lost because there's people cutting in and out. You know, that was my main disappointment in the production of it, was that when people start talking at the same time. But for some reason, it still holds it together because James's vocal stays strong, but it's almost like the bandwidth is divided up between all the rest of the people. I'm not sure how that works, but there could maybe be a better way to, be aware of that, maybe so that when people say something, that you don't miss it just had the sound of like cutting off the beginning of what a lot of people said. So I just thought I'd throw that in. Sorry, I got here late. So if you guys discussed this already, but that was just a technical thing, but I enjoyed doing it, even though I didn't really even know what it was going to be. But I like the idea of the enthusiasm and that the product, like the live product is the product, like what's here, us, or not anywhere else, right? So, and then you don't have to spend as much time editing and those things, so that it can be, but yeah, if you don't have enthusiasm or some level of excitement about your creativity, it will be a disappointment if you think when you press publish or whatever version that would be, like the final sanding on a piece of wood, and then the things that get me excited, that make me do all the tedious, hard things, like it's hard to write, it's hard to carve a tiny little violin nut out of ebony with my eyes anyway. And, but just the imagining and the creativity in my own mind, being excited to make that. And then, and then you embrace those harder things. But is it not overall an enthusiastic, exciting effort, regardless of any point in that time you could say this was torture, or I felt good here. But I think that's an important thing, because I see a lot of people. I've learned a lot of different things, but I always seem to want to do it on my own. And sometimes I wish people would do things not as much the pamphleted way, but pay more attention to that creative force, because they see that in other people and they want that. And it's, you can't take a class for it though. I guess that's my point, but it is important. And I think, James, that you try that. And I wish that you would. Sometimes I feel like two people said something in the comments and then you changed your whole direction because those two people that are like never the people in the audience that are shaping things very much. You know what I mean? Like, I know you probably hear things outside of, like if people say, is this guy for real or whatever, I've never inquired in that way outside of things about people or anything like that myself. But, the things that get people excited, but, just a little criticism that, I think that maybe you're responding to too small of an audience. And that, like, just, your own words, like pay attention to your own enthusiasm and show everybody what that's like, and then, right. Then this whole thing is like a reality show or a class on, and reality has cachet now, because with the AI stuff, there's a whole segment of things that may not be real. So let's, with the forward thinking, like I did that once. I said, I got into ukuleles and I said, this is going to be the instrument of the future. And I had all these reasons, and I used to perform with it, but it was just, and then about 5 years later, like every emo group in the world had a little tiny ukulele guitar that they were playing. But anyway, so I kind of missed I used to have a whole store full of ukuleles. And anyway, that's just, sorry to interrupt, but I just thought I'd, follow up. And I think that it would be good to have some, official Freemasonry information to follow up with my professionally unprofessional information. That's mostly just a zetetic thing based on my own interactions and personality. But, of course, I'd like to hear what.
We have two dictionaries of Freemasonry that are equal to about this much paper. So I can look up anything that you can't find.
Yeah, well, I'd just be more interested in what people might have to say that they choose on their own than reading up on it or anything like. I'd like to see it through the lens of people that speak, that you can see and speak. That would be more interesting to me. But anyway, I'll shut up now. Thanks everybody, and I enjoyed you. I enjoyed all the enthusiasm, and it helped me be in a good mood. The buoying of all your support and enthusiasm there, made me feel good, and I really had a good time. So I know I can sound a little dour. I've been accused of it before, but that's my radio voice, man. So, all right, thank you.
Thanks, Pi. I really enjoyed the Saturday night ride, and when I did it, and we that was going to be like the green room, as we were going to step on each other a little bit, and it's kind of like the realness and then the enthusiasm of how that happens, and or either that or we have to call on people, and even in this kind of moderator thing, people are kind of like politely sharing quickly when somebody else shares, and then it would be a cleaner audio if I had to call on everybody. But because it's a spontaneous thing, I think it's like that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a little bit of a muddle, but I don't know if James has a comment on that, but I thought it sounded good. I listened after.
I think it takes practice, and the telepathy is really good. I've actually sort of last night I was telling Renee how well I thought Lori. I don't mean to. Sorry, I'm not saying everybody here, but I was just going to tell what I said. I was like, I think because we were talking about the interruptions, but I've discussed this before, and I just think Lori, Brad, and Renee are really on it right now when it comes to being in radio and knowing when to say it. More importantly, if you interrupt, I really appreciate you guys just keep saying it. I think that's so important. It's such a different kind of etiquette on the radio. And I personally think that you really are nailing it. And I think if anyone else is wondering what to do, I think you should watch those three people, how they respond, what they inject. And I think that they're just doing something right. Ultimately, I think Airship should only have a regular crew and a guest. And that regular crew should only be a certain number of people, because the quality of the audio will be better when there's only 3 people in the room. I'm just making that number up, versus 16. So, and I don't know what that number is, and I don't mind that number changing. What I hope will happen is that we'll have some kind of regulars that are really good, and then we have some newbies that are sort of learning the ropes and learning the telepathy of what that takes. And then ultimately the show just creating itself, creating its own band sound, so to speak, from that. And I'm really happy with where it is. Could it be better? Yeah. But also the audio, I think there was just a lot of people in the room, and stuff like that's going to happen. Even if you're not talking over each other, Zoom is doing its best to run through the loop of every single person to see. That's why if you're watching the show in the green room and you're not contributing it, you're technically kind of lowering the quality of the audio. I want you to feel okay to be there. I think it's okay to come to the airship and think you're going to talk the whole time and just not say anything. That is totally okay. All right. But I also want you to know that be prepared to come and say something. And if you're not prepared, you're actually going to be helping the show more by being in the live chat on YouTube. That actually helps more. It helps the algorithm. It helps the audience. It helps the way that people are too. So, but no one's been, the only people that have ever been on Airship that I felt like this personality is not going to work, I've just asked to leave. Anyone else who's here, if you haven't been asked to leave, it's because I really love what you contribute, and I'm thankful and grateful to have you here. So if that helps any, that's sort of how I see things the way they're going lately.
Cool. Hey, Nancy.
I have an ironic question.
Okay.
I add to Lori because Pi was when Lori was doing the first one on. I was just going to say that the first thing when me and Lori, Andy, were in the green room about the Mayan calendar, right? I was trying to fill it out too, Pi. So I was like saying, oh, how do we want to structure all this? And what Lori said to me, perfect. She's like, don't forget this is supposed to be fun. And I was like, yeah. Yeah. And it just kind of took all that to, like I said, I understand what you're saying about there might be some information you want to get across. But what Lori told me in that moment was, don't worry about that. We don't need to focus on that. And I think we even brought it up in that show that there's always more time to talk. These topics are so in depth anyway. The conversation is going to continue. The fun. Let's enjoy this, Brad. And I have. That's what to me has been the most fun about it.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting to change anything.
I do think
I like the way it was. I wouldn't want to try to mess with what we had going there. That was just when I listen back, you can't tell in real time. It doesn't sound that way to your audio, so it's difficult to tell. And then later, I was like, oh, I should have. I mean, you can adjust to it. I already have just by watching a little bit of it, and I was like, oh, I could have waited just a little bit, or right. And then but it's hard to tell because you don't hear it. It's one of those things that you're not going to hear it through your monitors while you're in the green room. You're going to hear it, the actual result of the audio later when you hear it.
Yeah, welcome to live streaming. that's the whole thing.
Hey, Nancy, your hand's up. Good to see you.
You too. Hi, everybody. I want to thank everybody. I'm enjoying the Saturday rides. I'm usually not home. I was out all day too Saturday. I got to listen. I love it. It was great getting to know you a little bit better too, Pi. I mean, I feel like, yeah, we're getting to know each other even more through the Saturday rides. But I put my hand up because you said something earlier, Lori, that really, well, and actually James too, the whole witnessing of yourself. That's been a theme for me for about a month. It's like I've been noticing when I crave witness from someone else, and I know we probably all know this, it really hit me. It hit me for some reason deeper recently that it's like what I'm craving or what I want to hear. And it's usually to, confirm or validate something that I'm not feeling, all that strong about. But so I was on the couch and I'm noticing, and I don't know how this happens. Okay. I just don't know how these things work or how, but I got this energy thing that my inner child was telling me, I want to hear that from you. And when that happened, my where I have a little bit of scoliosis, my spine adjusted. It was almost like I acknowledged because I had the awareness that, and this is just for me, but when I'm craving something from someone else, it's because I don't know how to validate that in myself. But when I actually really saw it, and I felt like I saw it through my golden child, my body was even kind of those agencies in that moment were like, oh my gosh, I need to tell myself these things. Anyway, it's just fun because when I had the whole spine thing happen, I'm like, wow, this is I'm getting a lot of things like that, and it's just been really a cool ride to just be more with yourself and really seeking, gee, how are my agencies helping me to uncover more? And then so to get back to the hermetic witnessing of yourself, I think for me, that's like the theme right now. I have to really what I want to hear from others is kind of what I have, and it's really hard. I don't believe a lot of those things it's like I will believe that you, Lori, or James, or Renee, or anybody, if you tell me, I'm going to believe it better, but I need to tell me so I can believe it. And I know I've said it probably 4 different ways. And then I want to share the first time I ever shared in the dojo. I know I shared it too. It took me a while back then. I had to be in the other room to listen back to myself. And then I slowly creeped in, like, that didn't sound so weird or so, I had to be in another room in order to witness myself. And now I'm looking at like, wow, I've come a long way. Now I'm like really like wanting to come. This is a good thing to see the progress that I've made, and I see that in everybody too. But anyway, that's it. I just love everybody here.
Wow, Nancy, I really, really related to your share of like that golden child getting witnessed and your spine getting straighter and you're not losing the calories, to that looking for external validation or, acknowledgement. It's like doing something and not being acknowledged for it. I mean, it's like the ultimate creative act. But we all do need witnessing. So it's like, it's that, that place in the middle. So I'm like super excited that you shared that and where you've come from and where you are now. It's inspiring. So thank you for being there. I really appreciate it. We see, I just wanted to say that time-wise, we have about, a little over 15 minutes. And I'm so glad that Sarah has her hand up 15 minutes before we're going to end, because I think we're going to get to her today. So somebody's hand was up, but now it's Yesenia and then it's Sarah. So it's like, and if somebody else wants to chime in, if there's enough time and you haven't put your hand up and want to raise your hand and just say, hey, do that now. Thanks. Go ahead, Yesenia.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted a little bit more clarification because I know ultimately the rules is to be self-evident, to show up. But because when I listened to Saturday, I enjoyed the interruptions, and I'm gonna say it in quotations because it didn't sound like interruptions. It just sounded with people with like high electricity in their spine that are ready to just mingle. That have that like charisma, that connection. It actually sounded very smooth for me as an audience member that heard it later. Like you guys are all connected. I don't know. I feel like this is class of 2025 of the Dojo Earth because like since February, since I started, I feel all of us grow closer and closer together, more comfortable, where the raising of hands is, for me, I interrupted earlier and I honestly don't have enough electricity in my spine to keep going. So I was like, let me shut up and raise my hand. And that's where I'm at. So that's just what I wanted to share with the group.
Wow, that was really quick turnaround, Yesenia. I too was a little nervous when people were just jumping in. And, earlier when I'm the moderator and I have to call on people and you kind of just chime in, that's such a brave thing to do. And I think it's like you're really comfortable, in your way you are. And I'm like, that's why I kind of chimed, don't you know who you are? And it was like the highest compliment. And I know that I clarified it then and I'm clarifying it now because that was like the first time we were like kind of doing that here. And I was like, wow, as it's, we're really getting more comfortable with our telepathy with each other. So that's really cool. And go ahead.
I'm glad it came off that way because that's valuable feedback, Yesenia, because, we're always going to be more critical of our own voices. But, that's what I need, that feedback to hear, like, how did it come off? Because that's how it felt. So I'm glad that that seems like it's something cool that we should
Pi, I think Pi, it might help because there was a lot of background, not a lot, there was background noise. Your cats really have a lot to say sometimes, which I think is great. I actually like this about your personality. However, I just want to say, I do think that makes your audio cut more because Zoom raises its threshold over what your background noise is. Because I distinctly remember missing the beginning of what you're talking about, Pi, but not with everyone else. And I think it's because Zoom is trying to mute your cats. If you change Zoom to musician sound off, on, I think it might help. However, we'll also get more cats. So it's sort of a catch-22.
I wasn't, I thought I was going to have some help, but then my partner decided to go out in the garden and cut flowers instead. So then I was stuck here with
I wouldn't change a thing. Yeah, I'm more just telling you. I think that's why your audio is a little bit more spotty because it definitely was more that way.
Okay. So. Yeah, I know. I thought I had some of that fixed, but
fix it right meow.
I love what
fix it meow.
So you know.
You got to fix it meow. Right meow.
Yeah. Right meow.
Right. I was gonna say the Masons got to your partner Pi. That was
I love the meowing.
Plan.
I just love the meowing.
Yeah, me too.
The meowing at the timing of the meowing and all the meowing is just great. So go ahead, Sarah.
I'm like a parent that doesn't notice their kids screaming in the grocery store. Like I don't even have an awareness of it. So sorry, I'm sorry about that.
You're up, Sarah.
Hi, okay. Saying hello to all. Couple things. Wanted to share a dream segment I had this morning that I know was because of, I think it was Renee and somebody else was talking about puppets a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sharing that I had took a puppet making class in the crappy college I went to first out of high school, and I made a wizard puppet. So in the stream this morning, I found my wizard puppet, and I was showing somebody, I don't remember who it was I was showing, and somebody was like, oh, that's who you are. That's why you made that wizard puppet. And my response was like, well, I definitely did not realize that at the time when I made it. I was not conscious or aware of it. So I like that dream, and I know I had that dream because of talking about puppets. And I think I was sharing about my wizard puppet a few weeks ago too. Second thing about witness, I was thinking how I love having witness exchange with animals, whether people's pets or wild animals. I love if like there are always bunnies in the garden and squirrels running around. I love when we have eye contact or when you're walking around and chipmunk is down up the tree and they're really like communicating with you. They make all these noises and they're like on the tree like this and they're looking at you like you're invading their space or something, or maybe they're inviting you in, just stay away from my tree. And with people's pets, if I'm walking on the trails and people's dogs want to like stop and pay attention to me and we exchange that witness and I get to pet them and I'll thank the owner. It's like, thanks for the free pets. Or I have a new amazing medicine woman friend. She has 2 dogs, a cat, and 8 birds. So the biggest and loudest parrot is a white parrot named Chico. And all of her pets really like me. Like one of the birds, when I was first there, came right on my shoulder. The dogs jump up on me and greet me. The cat got up on my shoulder. And when I was there day before yesterday, Saturday, when I was leaving, she was holding the white parrot and it wanted to go onto my arm. So it went onto my arm and it was enjoying that. And the last time before that, it came like up to me for me to stroke it. So they're not going to like give everyone permission to like stroke it or say they want to go up on your arm. So it went up on my arm and then I was on my way out and I didn't want to get off my arm. And then when I leave, and it's done this before, when I was outside, I would hear it from the basement. It calls out, come back, come back, come back. So that's fun. I like animal witness exchange also.
Yeah. Animal witness is actually my it's like really is my favorite. I just seriously, there's just the things
That's your
that
new
I get
world.
to see and see me. Hey, did we get to see your puppet, Sarah? Is the wizard
I
in the
don't
room?
have that anymore. This was like when
Oh,
I was
That was
okay.
a
18.
dream. It was in her dream. You don't have it anymore, Sarah?
Oh no, it's
Oh, that's too bad.
a dream. I
Maybe you
found
need
it.
to. Maybe you need to
Gotcha.
make a new one.
There you go. We just
And I
gave
want
you
to say,
homework.
I
Yeah.
had
We
these
have
two things that
accomplished
happened.
it. Our puppets are being made now.
So I had this thing that happened yesterday. I never seen this before. I was driving down the road and a rat crossed my path. I mean, do you ever seen a rat cross your path on a
Yeah,
regular road? Okay, and that's
No.
not never happened to me before.
Wow.
And then last night I woke up and I was like, is that a skunk? And a skunk must have went to by my air ducts or something in the air conditioning unit, and the skunk smell came like emulating in my house. I mean, those
That's
are like,
crazy.
is that crazy?
I don't want to say, I don't want to interrupt, but we literally had a skunk smell when I woke up. I turned off the trunk filter. We had the window open.
And then
That's crazy.
James said he had a skunk
I
on Saturday
literally,
night
yeah,
eating
I
cat
shelled,
food.
yeah, I shelled
No, literally
the
this
skunk
morning.
peanuts this morning. Actually, I shelled him peanuts and watched him eat the peanuts because I was like, I
Is
bet
it
he.
skunk? Is it skunk season? And then I asked my AI, and he's like, it means boundaries. Like, I don't have good boundaries. I have to put the skunk smell out. But the skunk smell, like it encapsulated my whole house.
Yeah.
It was like weird. So Trevor having the same weird thing. I mean, that was weird. Sarah, you got anything else?
Let me think. At the moment, I don't think so. I can't
Okay.
remember what I was going to say at the last one when we ran out of time.
Well, I'm
'Cause it
glad
was
you got in early today. We have True's hands up.
Hi, everybody. What I'm witnessing right now is my own gratitude for where I'm at. I just, my last ride before I was a little bit late because it took longer to drop him up. I had this young man who was about 35, 40 years old, just gone through a breakup, had a very long ride. And I engaged him, started asking him questions. And this is what I live for as a rideshare driver, giving people a chance to talk and witness for them while I'm doing this, share a little bit of my own experience. And I had the guy, I really moved him, that somebody heard him that was willing to listen to him without judgment.
Yeah.
That's really why I love doing this. It doesn't happen very often, but it happens often enough to keep me going through traffic. Let's just say it's just traffic. But the other thing I'm grateful for right now is my relationship with my partner. We've turned a corner. It's been 2 years in the making. Had a very significant tender moment this morning. Just witnessing for each other, you know. And yeah, I'm so glad that Shannon is in my life, and I believe we're gonna start collaborating again on some stuff that's some really magical stuff that Shannon is creating, and I'm just thrilled to be a part of it. Shannon is building a team of people, and she's invited me to be a part of that. So I'm inspired to look at my own caloric output and intake. And one thing that I understood about calories is it's a burn rate, just like a startup has a burn rate. And I need to make my burn rate more efficient. So I'm going to be pruning my lips here over the next couple of months. I really love being part of this group, but I'm going to be less verbal, but I am going to be here because I don't want to I always give away my power. I always speak it forth before it's like a premature ejaculation. I mean, I'm always leaking my power out by getting excited and talking about it. I don't want to do that this time. but I do have a vision and a purpose, and also a step-by-step plan to get there. And I'm just now, I had Shannon help me with AI for the first time to put a rate card together for graphic design. And it was like, wow, holy shit, that was really cool. And I started having her ask it questions, I'm like poking it with a stick from afar. So it's like really cool. So I had my first close encounter, or semi-close encounter with AI. So thanks for everybody for listening. That's all I got.
Hey, True. That's great. I'm really excited for you and your new adventure and your merger with the union of that, sacred relationship. It's beautiful. Be beautiful to witness how you hold that container. So don't always think that if you're sharing that you are leaking calories. I mean, how would it feel when you have a different posture now? So maybe you can share from that location. James,
from the present time. I want it to be like in the present time and relevant to what's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, perfect. And not sourcing from the wounded past. Yeah. We have about 5 minutes before we're done. If anyone wants to chime in, I just want to let you know that I am taking off on another road trip. This time I'm going out west and going to, first, I'm leaving on the 11th. And so a week from today. And Chaco Canyon will be one of the places I'm going to be meditating and bringing it on. Chaco Canyon is one of the ancient time
six-fingered,
Time Lord places.
Oh my God! See if will you take a picture of Six Fingers for me? You'll probably find it.
I will
somewhere.
Definitely.
Oh my goodness.
If I can find whatever that is, I get called to places and I don't really know much about it, but this is really in the middle of nowhere, New Mexico. And then I'm doing a hot springs thing, do a lot of medicine with the waters, and doing the Dragon Line of Crestone, Colorado. And so I'll be out in that area in between the great smoke, the great mountains of the Rocky Mountains are here, and then there's the Sierra Nevadas, and it's like the center where the Sangre de Cristo mountain is kind of like where a dragon's line goes. So I'm going to be out there. I'm doing some work out there. So I don't know when I'll be back. I usually can get internet if I'm, called to be whatever it is, but I would miss you guys if I wasn't here, but it might be in a location that I'm like not going to be, but I'll let James know if I have internet or not. So.
Well, I want you as much
I
as
would
I can
highly
get you.
recommend the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. That's a place that I was forced there by the weather. But, especially if you cut that corner and you take that road towards New Mexico.
Yeah, I've been there many years. I've laid some magic down there but I haven't been back since 2019.
I think it's
there's a sign there that it marks the last grizzly bear sighting in the history of Colorado when you drive through the pass there. But and then you avoid a lot of weather, and you can literally see it coming down from the mountains and then turning into New Mexico, and it's anyway,
it's one of the biggest.
I think it was in 2005. They found a princess in Chaco Canyon who had been buried, very, very upper echelon princess. A lot of people had venerated her. And it turned out they probably were venerating her because she had 6 fingers and 6 toes. And that there's a lineage that's based out of that Chaco Canyon that seems to have genetically been protecting that concept. And that really could have been hermaphrodite too. I say this because the shamanistic Heyoka witch doctors specifically in that era were particularly prone to cross-dressing, to what we call cross-dressing now. And that if you looked at it through just the eyes of a 6-fingered hermaphrodite, it wouldn't be cross-dressing at all. It would just be people doing what they do. So I am so stoked that you're going out there to touch that place, Lori. That's a really special place.
Yeah. So it's super exciting. I've done a lot of work out in that area, but my van acted up. Last van I had acted up, and I didn't get to go to Shaka. But I think the timing now is like perfect. So I'm super excited about that.
Right on. Good stuff.
So it's been a really awesome Dojo Earth today. And Kermit. I got 2 little guys. They might show up in little shorts that I'm going to start to do. But I have like all these little tiny puppets, bigger puppets, all kinds of like. So this one has a little snake on her. So it's like don't forget your childlike play, you guys. It's certainly a good time for it.
Great stuff.
See,
Thank you,
I
guys.
need to learn, Lori, how to put together video with puppets because I've got one.
I after I saw you doing
I've got one right now. I want to put together with little cool puppets.
So when I saw you do the ventriloquist one, Brad, I want more of that. And I started to like look at how can you talk without moving your mouth. And then I was like, you can get everything out but B's and D's. And I was like, B. How do you say B? Yeah, like, but it was really good. You were doing good with the ventriloquist.
That's why I always try and turn and look at your puppet. So like when you have to hit the hard B's and the D's and right, you learn those tricks to try and like look away, right?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's good.
and hide the puppet. Oh, B, what did you say? Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, guys, it's time.
Time.
Let's
Thank
unmute.
you, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lori. Goodbye, everybody. Everybody say goodbye.